No,
Es un palabra malo.
That's being bicultural. No, for the chile, for that I just put peppers, different kinds of peppers, and you just have to soak them in hot water, blend them, strain them, cook it down on the stove. You taste for salt and that kind of thing. Some people put chocolate on them too, you know, cinnamon, you know, cumin, anything like that. I try to keep it pretty mild because I personally don't like hot stuff, so you know. But anyway, that's all it is. And the pork, there's a couple methods to do it. You can put it on, you know, pork roast, and you just roast it, and
Yummy.
you know, you put garlic, onions, you know, some cumin or salt. You know, very simple actually. I think that's the best, basic. Or you can also cook it on the. You can boil it and then shred it up. It's really simple, and then you just merge it together. So this one I just put it in the oven, and once I had all the meat, you know, then I added the sauce. So I had a pan like that with all the pork, and I add the sauce, and I let it soak, and I add more sauce, you know, because it absorbs it. So you want it, and then I have extra sauce here in the fridge.
Mixing till you like the look of it.
And what I could do now that I have this sauce is I could take a pork shoulder, and they're generally about, you know, this big around. Cut it into like 4 pieces. Make them smaller because they cook faster when they're smaller pieces. And then I would just rub this around the top of it. And then when I shred it, all of that gets mixed together with the sauce. But that sauce is like the seasoning. I wouldn't have to add anything for seasoning if I just put this on top because it's already got everything, maybe salt, and that's it. And then I'd put it in the oven at like 325 and let it cook for 3 to 3.5 hours. Then it comes out nice and tender. So she's already cut this with 2 forks probably and make it real tender, because when we're doing tamales, this has to be small pieces. We can't have big clumps. With my mushrooms, they have to be, I'll show you in a few minutes, everything's it's like everything's been pulverized because it has to fit in a, you know, in the palm of my hand. It's got to fit in a space like that. So that's what I'm thinking about. So this has to be nice and fine, just like this. So this is perfect for tamales.
Good job. Yeah, that's right.
And I had to learn from my neighbor how to make it because my grandmother never.
Pobrecito.
I because my grandmother, she's all about going to a restaurant.
What's wrong with that?
So here's the corn husk. So you're always going to have a kind of a triangle shaped corn husk. Bottom, because that folds up like that, and then you tie it around like that. So when you put the masa in here, this is, you either want a spatula or something like this where I can grab it.
Spoon.
Yeah, and then I want to be able to smear it. So, you know, when I'm doing this, see this red space? That's about how big I'm going to put masa down, maybe a little bit more. Actually, this is the amount of meat that I'll put in. So when I put the masa, I'm going to put you'll learn how much of a blob to put down after you do 10 of them.
Or maybe not.
You have to eat the 10.
Or it's been 2 years for me,
You want a
so.
spoon?
Really? Yeah, he needs a little spoon or a knife because this is too thick to.
And there's so many ways to do it.
No,
you can
it's
do it with
all
your
right.
hand.
Yeah, let these ladies show you how,
From the
man.
top to the bottom.
Yep, top to bottom, and I want to get closer to the top,
Yeah.
and I want to make a square.
Yeah.
He leaves one end open, right?
Yeah, right.
I
You
do,
leave
yeah.
one end open, yeah.
You have to, and to fold up.
And then I'll do the next one in a different way. So in Sonora, when you put the husk down, you put the sauce down first, then you put the masa over it. Then when you open up the tamale, it's red. And you can also put
I put the sauce.
you can put the chili sauce in there.
You have it already.
And it doesn't take very much to color it. It'll make it nice and colorful. So when I put the meat in here,
And actually, I could put more sauce on it to soften it some more.
So it's a little bit less
Because I actually
dry.
like to have, you know, because I make the dough red already. I just put more sauce in here, so it's a little more saucy, and then and that's it.
and it's got to be fairly narrow because if it's too thick, then it won't come together. And then, in honor of Sonora,
You want me to drain those when you pull one out?
You want a bowl? Here.
it goes in there. So then when you do your tamale, you're kind of mixing this around so that it's all that comes together. Yep. So I'm trying to start from the top and then come down. So you can see if I went any more meat filling in there, I'd have too much. So this is just about right. And I want to be able to close that up on top. But he's easy enough to close. And again, you just kind of roll it around.
Now you know why it takes so long.
And that's it. But when you do them one after another, by the time you do 10, then you're moving faster. And you can see it's kind of gotten rounded, and then I want to kind of make that tight.
He wasn't gonna put any.
And then that's it. See, this is my tail. And what I do is I want to tighten that bottom, so I push up a little bit on the bottom, because that gives me more tie space.
But I don't tie them unless I'm distinguishing
You
them.
need someone to tie them.
Oh, unless you want
Well,
to, yeah.
I want to see how my arthritis is. I'll know.
Otherwise, you're tying too many.
Gringos have to tie them.
The gringo. I know who that is.
So and
There's
then.
like 3 of us in the
And then I want to, okay, so this is my first try and I want to get the tamale stuff to tighten up. When I do them in the future, I want them to be closer to the top, and they can be long. So this is about that long. So that's about what we're looking for. So I was pretty close on that. And then the reason some people leave one end open is the steam cooks them faster. Because if I close this, I can close both sides, but then I've got it takes a little bit longer to steam that way. But when you do that, when you don't tie them, you have to lie them flat like this, because you lie the two sides down like that, so that they don't come apart. Everybody understand that? So when I tie them, they go in the steamer.
Standing up.
They stand up.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
Yeah, they stand up a whole bunch.
Well, there's a steamer in the back, so I start stacking them.
Yeah,
Yep. So you can see.
yeah, you need to start
Just stack them.
stacking. I know it.
And then, not yet. You just start putting them there.
And then you can see this one's kind of small. That's what I would tie. I would make one of these out of, because I need a good size
Or
one.
you put 2 together.
There you go.
Do that too.
Together to make the right.
The first one was
Can you put
just.
that one over there?
The first one, you'd rather have too big than too small. If I think it's too big, this happens every once in a while. It's not a big deal, because this time I'm going to try and get it closer. So this time I'm going to put the chili sauce, and I'm going to smear it like that, and then that's going to give it color. And in Sonora, that's what they do, is they add the chili sauce, and again, they'll do this really quick, and it'll take no time at all, and that's it. And then.
You want a spoon?
Yeah, give me another one of these, because this one.
This one's so thick
Yeah.
and yucky.
I have too much stuff on this one.
Yeah.
I had the one with the chicken. The chicken stock had a good one in it.
Oh no, that was too small. Here, this one.
The large one.
This one is. I think it's better to use the spoon.
Yeah, I do too. It'll
Got
be
a bowl.
fine. Spoon will be fine.
And you'll get, what I try to do is I get a spoon that tells me how much meat to put on there. So I would get a bigger spoon than this, but we'll work that out later.
What I'll do is I'll just do an assembly line and then just
Yeah.
have it.
In a minute, that's what we're going to do, is we're going to set up.
Because one person can be doing the chili, one person can put the dough, and then one person puts the meat, and then one ties it, and then there you go. It's really simple.
Since I'm the gringo, I guess I'm on the
And
time.
what I do to get started, to get with people,
1, 2, 3.
Just don't go too
3 at a
fast.
time.
Yeah, you need a spoon.
Yeah, I love this.
yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
Everybody's different. I use a spatula because I want to smear it.
But I mean, that one's so thick already. You need it. Yeah, that's a cleaner one. So.
Yeah, and I would use hot water. I'd have a little bowl of water here just to keep that clean. But if you get it too thick, then they're too chewy when you're making them. And you can see it's not coming together well here.
When
And what
I
we
did
would-
it before, I had it all in my hand. The leaf in my